Welcome to Taylor Money Talk, where we connect history, economics, and strategy to understand where we have been and the direction we are heading next. This is a general discussion and is not intended to be specific investment advice. Most of us think we understand cash. Cash is the thing we hand to someone and receive something in return. We put it in a wallet, a drawer, or a bank, and we trust it will be there when we need it. From my earliest memories, money worked. When I went to the grocery store with my mother, she handed over cash and came home with eggs and milk. When I went to the gas station with my father, he paid cash and drove away with a full tank. It always worked. It never failed. Money allowed us to exchange our labor and skill for goods and services, and to store the value of that labor for the future. In simple terms, money has two essential functions: a medium of exchange and a store of value. We work today so we can buy things tomorrow or next year. But what if one day it didn't work? What if money failed, like a car battery on a cold, dark night? What if the thing we trust most quietly stopped doing what it's supposed to do? Because history tells us this has happened before, many times. Throughout history, cash has failed societies. From the Roman Empire to the Weimar Republic of the early 1900s, when money fails, social order fractures, savings disappear, trust evaporates, extremes rise. Understanding what cash actually is matters because we rely on it every single day. History shows a repeating cycle. People cooperate with one another. Productivity increases. Wealth grows. Standards of living rise. Then rules are created. Governments form. Power consolidates. And eventually, through taxation, debt, war, and control, the system collapses. Sometimes it takes 100 years. Sometimes 500. Winston Churchill once warned, "After a time, civil servants cease to be servants and cease to be civil." In 1944, economist Friedrich Hayek warned Western democracies about this exact pattern. His message was simple and deeply unsettling. When governments centrally plan economies, even with good intentions, they eventually must control everything. Why? Because money becomes the control mechanism. If the state controls money, it controls behavior. Spending, saving, movement, speech. Does this sound familiar? Are we living this reality now? Look closely at a US dollar bill. Across the top it reads, Federal Reserve Note. That matters, because a note is not an asset, it's a liability. The dollar in your pocket is not money in the traditional sense, it's debt. Since 1971, the US dollar has not been backed by anything tangible. No gold, no silver, no physical constraint. It is a fiat currency, created by decree and sustained by trust. And trust, once broken, is very hard to restore. Before 1913, the U.S. monetary system was chaotic. Paper money came from federal governments, state governments, and private banks. Often it failed at the expense of ordinary people. The Continental Dollar, issued in 1775 to fund the Revolutionary War, collapsed so badly it gave us the phrase, "not worth a Continental." In response, the Coinage Act of 1792 defined the dollar as something real, a bimetallic unit backed by silver or gold. Money had an anchor. That anchor would not survive. The Federal Reserve was created in 1913. Officially, it was meant to bring stability. Unofficially, it concentrated monetary power. Many Americans opposed it. They understood something critical. Whoever controls money controls society. From 1913 to 1971, there were still limits. Gold reserve requirements restrained policy. Those limits were dismantled step by step. World wars politicized money. Gold ownership was criminalized in 1933. The dollar was deliberately devalued. Power centralized in Washington. And in 1971, gold redemption ended permanently. Money was no longer anchored. In 2008, the illusion became undeniable. Trillions of dollars were created digitally. Not earned, not saved. Created, money became policy. What we've witnessed is not sudden collapse. It's transformation. From money as value to money as permission. As the saying goes, gold is the money of kings. Silver is the money of gentlemen. Barter is the money of peasants. But debt is the money of slaves. We now live in a debt-based monetary system. Markets no longer discover value. Policy does. Money is no longer an economic tool. It is a political weapon. We are not witnessing the end of the U.S. economy. We are witnessing the end of a monetary supercycle that began in 1913. Globally, every major economy is trapped in debt. There are only three outcomes. 1. Discipline. Reduce spending, shrink government. 2. Inflation. Quietly destroy savings and purchasing power. 3. Default. Open or disguised. History shows governments choose 2 or 3. Only the people choose 1. Money only works if trust survives. When money fails as a store of value, society pays the price. Cash is not what most people think it is, and illusions, once exposed, are never quite the same again. Thank you for joining me on Taylor Money Talk. If you enjoyed this, you can subscribe on YouTube or your other favorite platforms and receive notifications for new episodes.